Start it. I'm not going to start and stop. You can't edit it, but what you can do. All right, today what we're going to get started off doing is I'm going to introduce you guys to a very important concept in playwriting. In playwriting, the most important thing is to be honest with yourself and with your writing. If you do this, no matter what you write about, it should be interesting. So, to get that, to be honest, basically it means don't fake it, okay? And if you do this, it'll turn out beautifully. So the first thing we need to know is discover something called subconscious. Does anyone know what the word subconscious means? Or you have a guess? Jasmine?
Kind of like what your mind is telling you.
What your mind is telling you. Or that's part of it. Anyone else want to add to that? Brian?
Having a second thought.
It's like a second thought, Zarel.
It's not what your mind tells you.
It's not what your mind tells you. So just the opposite. Last that you're in.
It's a beginning thought.
It's possibly the beginning. What it is, the subconscious is what makes us really tick and what makes us do stuff. Like, for instance, if we go to clean our room and suddenly we end up doing something else. Something in the back of our brain kind of pushed us in one way or the other. So our goal as writers is to tap in to this subconscious. Okay? And the way we do that is to physically warm up or do writing exercises. So, we define subconscious. How could we use subconscious as people, and most importantly as playwrights or artists? Any guesses on that? How we might be able to use subconscious as an artist? Cynthia?
Maybe to develop our characters.
To develop characters, okay. How else might we use subconscious? Brian?
When it comes to acting, think about a specific scene.
To pick out a specific scene, that's possible. Yeah, Joseph.
Or it could be like a setting or place.
To setting or a place. So basically, as a starting point. So one more, Chantel.
Like to help develop like a writing, like say writing like a play or something.
Okay, to kind of develop ideas, okay? So we're going to try that today. We're going to try to tap into your subconscious. Why would the subconscious be the most important part for us in playwriting? What might it tap into? Yes.
Maybe because you do it without even thinking, so it's not like fake or thought of.
It's not, yeah. You do it without even thinking, so it's fake. It's not fake. It's instinctual, as you said. So it goes back to honesty. So to develop this, we're going to do a little exercise. One is called a scribble, scrabble. So go ahead and take the yellow sheets that are in front of you. And on one side, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to do one thing very simple. And that is, not until I start, is to take your hand with your pencil, put it down on the paper, and to start moving your hand all over the place. It doesn't matter where it goes. It could go to the corners or whatever. Don't draw specific shapes or letters or anything like that. Just kind of see if you can do what we just talked about and let your subconscious go. So think about whatever is on your mind, but let your hand go anyway. I'll give you about 15 to 20 seconds to scribble, scrabble on the paper. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go! There you go. Don't let yourself think it. Don't even look down. Doesn't matter. There's nothing right or wrong. Remember, the subconscious does not judge. There you go. About 10 more seconds. Really make sure you fill the whole page. Just let your hand go anywhere. And stop. Okay, there's definitely some scribble and definitely some scrabble. So what I want you guys to do is look at it for a moment. Really look at it and don't talk to your partner or anything. And just stare at it and see if you can pick out 3 objects. They could be images, animals, whatever you want, whatever you see. And then once you pick those 3, flip the sheet over and write them down. Remember, nothing is right or wrong. It's just whatever you're seeing. All right, now, once you have those three, look at the three things you listed, and out of those three, put 3 stars next to the one that you like the most, that interests you the most. For whatever reason, remember it doesn't matter. Nothing is right or wrong. Just go with your instincts, your subconscious. All right, now, what we're going to do, once you're done with that, is go to the next step. So you guys away just tapped into your subconscious, and now, based on that one thing you picked, we're going to create a character profile. All right? So, for instance, and I have some examples here that the students have done in the past, we've got some character profiles. So, for instance, right here, a person did, if you can't read it, I'll go ahead and write it on the board. They gave the thing a name. So we're going to bring it to life. And what we're going to do is use alliteration. Does anyone know what alliteration is?
It's when
Martine, Crystal.
It's when you use the same letter, like all the words have the same letter.
Same first letter. So for instance, Bob the Builder, that all the kids know, would be alliteration. So we're going to do that. So let's take the first thing. A student said, Tony the trash can. So we got Tony the trash can. All right. Now, Tony the trash can has a specific age. And what I want you to do when you're going to do this for your own object a little bit is give details as much as possible, because honesty and details are what makes writing interesting. It doesn't matter what you write about, as long as you're honest and straightforward and really get to like the subconscious part of it, it'll be interesting. So we have Tony the trash can, and then next you're going to do any age and what stage in the life is the character. So this trash can, this student said, is 13 years, 2 months, and 8 days. He's an old metal trash can. So it's not just any trash can, very specific, old metal trash can. And then, after age, you got name, age, you're going to go family next. All right? And with family, you're going to also give details. So, if you look up here, he has a wife, Tony, who is a nice brand new Rubbermaid trash can. He has a son who is a 3-year-old milk crate named Kyle, and he has 2 daughters, twins named Rosie and Daisy, who are air fresheners. So obviously these things are part of this trash can's life, and they're part of the family. There are no limitations. You can do anything. And the next step is to create a habitat. Could someone raise a hand and tell me what a habitat is? Zarel? Someplace where you reside, which is basically someplace where you live. So you got to give this character a place to live, because we all have some place to live. So habitat is, for this trash can, let's make it, it's not up there, let's make it a dingy back alley, okay? Everything's strewn everywhere, so he lives in a back alley. And the next 2 steps are wish and fear. Could someone tell me why these 2 are the most important when it comes to playwriting? Taking it. Crystal?
Yes, because it's the motives.
It's the motive. So motive is the reason behind an action. Remember, actions, we do things sometimes not even thinking about it. So if we have wishes and fears, these are what drive the character. This is what pushes them from one thing to another. Even when we don't know that it's exactly what we want to do. Even when we don't have control over it. So, let's look at the wish up here. The wish for Tony is to be scrubbed with soap and bleach. Keep in mind, Tony has been a filthy mess for 13 years. So he is dying to get clean. So when you think wish, think extreme. Think like, really, what would that object, whether it's a toaster, a trash can, a pair of shoes, or whatever, what's their wish? Okay? And lastly, fear. The same thing. We are all driven by fear sometimes, and we really want to get at the core of the character. So the fear for Tony is to get smashed by the trash truck backing up. Do you guys have any questions on these categories? Okay, what I want you to do now is spend the next 5 minutes, and I'll come around and help you, and for your character, give as much detail as possible, and remember, nothing is right or wrong. If you have an idea, don't go, oh, well, that's not a good idea. Just go with it. So, fill out these categories, and use this as your guide up here. Okay? And go. I'll give you about 5 minutes. If you have any questions or problems, I'll come around and help you.
Just stick with the one right now, because these two are going to become characters later. So, but for right now, I'm just going to create one character. Okay.
Yeah, just use the one character, just use the one object to create the character. Just let your mind go. I'll give you guys about another 4 minutes on this. See some really creative stuff. Just let your minds go. Remember, it's all about just being honest with yourself. Details, details. So if you're done, if you finish real fast, think, what details can I add to the habitat or their family? Just look at Tony the trash can up here if you are wondering for any ideas. All the details there. Another couple of minutes. Lots of good details, guys. Very specific to your object. It's good. It's giggling. It's good too.
Can the wish be the same thing as the prayer?
If you think if you think long and hard, and you think the fear would be the same thing as your wish, you're really good. One more minute. So once you're done, set your pencils down so I know everyone's ready.